Ikebana is the Japanese art of flower arrangement. It is also known as kado, which translates to the way of flowers. The followers and practitioners of Ikebana are called kadoka, which doesn't have a direct English translation, but it implies an individual who is a flower arrangement artist, or someone who performs sculptures and shapes using flowers and plants. Not only is Ikebana an art form, but it is also a philosophical and meditative practice. For example, when practicing Ikebana, the practitioners would often utilize the metaphors of nature to look beyond the superficialities of the world and pay attention to the meanings, symbols, and intentions that exist in everyday life. It is not uncommon for the artist to ask existential questions, such as the meaning of life and the relationship between the self with the natural and artificial world. This isn't surprising if you were to look back at the history of Ikebana, which can be traced back to the 6th century. It was a spiritual practice that was introduced by Buddhism to Japan from China and Korea. The practice was influenced by how followers of Buddhism offered flowers to their gods by placing them on the altar or temples. One of the earlier styles of Ikebana is believed to be Rika, which translates to standing flowers because of its spiritual status. This style was mostly practiced by priests and nobles. Rika arrangements originally symbolized the mythical Mount Meru of Buddhist cosmology, with elements that were also drawn from Taoism. Formal Rika is arranged out of 9 main branches and some secondary branches. The number 9 represents yin and yang, and 7 natural elements would represent peak, waterfall, hill, foot of the mountain, and the town. However, as time progressed, Ikebana became more inclusive and was celebrated by various people despite their social status. More schools emerged into the scene, prompting more students to experiment with the craft, developing new styles and techniques. One of the styles that became popular among the masses was shoka, which means the living flowers style. Unlike Rika, that finds beauty in the harmony among plants, shoka focuses on the shuso, which is the inner beauty of the plant. This style was popularized amongst the masses during the Edo period and was used as symbolic displays in tea rooms and tea ceremonies. However, the style that is extremely popular in present-day Japan is the Jiyuka style, which literally means freestyle. It has no set form, and the artist has full creative control in how they express their message and emotions. The artists of this style can draw inspiration from the previous schools and styles while incorporating a modern twist to contextualize their design to the era they are in. Today, we can see all sorts of styles that incorporates all forms of traditional philosophies like Kanzo, which is the Japanese minimalist aesthetic and philosophy. Artists who are inspired by Kanzo would incorporate the teachings of minimalism and simplification in their flower arrangements. Another example would be kintsugi, which is a Japanese philosophy about the art of precious scars. For this style, you can see vases that may be repaired with scars to explore the beauty of imperfection, fragility, and individuality. You can also find arrangements that use broken vases to show how flowers bring life into forgotten or broken objects, and how they can enhance their living space. Basically, like any artistic medium, Ikebana has infinite possibilities and is making its mark on installation art, conceptual art, and more. Ikebana is as much, if not more, about the doing of flowers than what gets done to them. It is slowly changing, and modern-day practitioners are reinterpreting the core principles of the practice and testing its boundaries, propelling the path of flowers in not just Japan, but globally. However, if we want to fully appreciate this craft and enjoy its benefits, it is also important to be respectful and educated with its historical context, while trying our best to look beyond the cliches and Orientalist fantasies. One aspect of Ikebana that makes it extremely unique is the fact that it is a living art. While a painter may use paint to create a portrait, the Ikebana artist uses botanic materials that are alive or used to be alive This means that they have to also understand how plants live to preserve them longer, hence why having good knowledge of gardening can greatly help you in the craft, if you're interested. And what comes with the element of life is the element of death. Just like how the Ikebana piece will wither away one day, the art confronts us with the decay that exists in our everyday lives, including our mortality. The meditative process of arranging flowers together allows us to bridge our emotional and mental state. It becomes something spiritual, whereby nature becomes an extension of our souls and senses. As of today, we can even find Ikebana arrangements that use artificial flowers or paper origami that's folded into flowers. Nonetheless, it still signifies nature. There is no doubt that Ikebana has a lot to offer to practitioners and non-practitioners. It reflects on the cultural context we're in and reinterpret or make statements about the symbolic world we exist in. It offers a new way for us to interpret or represent a reality, perhaps even producing a new reality through signifiers and symbols.